Do you want to know how to get a remote desktop for free? Then this video is for you. Hi guys, this is Sudoken. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to get a Linux remote desktop on Google Cloud for free. Since I included how to go through some steps on different operating systems, the video became a little bit longer. So you can skip past that unrelated to you. Previously, I made a video to show you guys how to get a GPU accelerated remote desktop even without a credit card. I used Google Colab to do so, but it has many limitations that prevent us from doing day-to-day basis, such as limited runtime, lack of storage, etc. But with Google Cloud Platform, we can avoid a lot of problems we faced with the RDP we created in the previous video, but we can't get GPU acceleration with Google Cloud Platform free trial. If you need a GPU accelerated remote desktop, still the previous video is a good option. For this tutorial, I use a Linux VM instance on Google Cloud with XFCE desktop environment and tight VNC server. You just need to have a Google account to sign up for Google Cloud Platform and a credit or debit card for GCP account validation. Okay guys, let's head to the tutorial. First, we are going to sign up for Google Cloud Platform free trial. Open your browser, type cloud.google.com in the address bar and hit enter. Then click on Get Started for free. Select your country from the drop-down menu, then check the checkbox and click on Continue. Next, fill your contact info and card details. Then click on Start My Free Trial. After signing up, you will come to the dashboard. Next, open another tab and go to this URL. You can find it in the video description. Yeah, in this document you can find all the commands used in this video. Right, I opened those tabs in a single browser window. Now we can create a new project, or we can use an existing one. In the dashboard, from here, you can switch between your projects and create new projects. For this tutorial, I'm not gonna create a new project. I go with the project named My First Project. It is the project that automatically created when I signed up for Google Cloud Platform. Next, we are gonna create a firewall rule. After selecting a project, click on the hamburger button here. Next, find the networking section. Then click on the firewall. Now we can create a new firewall rule. Give it a name. I name it VNC server. Next, go to target tags and create a tag. I create a tag named VNC server. For source IP ranges, type 0.0.0.0/0. Next, open the TCP port 5901. Then click on Create. Step number 4 is creating SSH keys for the VM instance we are going to create in the step number 5. I'll show you how to create SSH keys on Linux, Windows and macOS. First, I'm gonna show you how to do so on Linux and macOS. If you are using Windows 10, continue watching the video from this point. And if you are using Windows 7, 8, 8.1 or another version, you should continue watching the video from here. Also, you can find these timestamps in the video description. Okay, enter the following command in the terminal. It will start the key generation process. You will be prompted to choose the location to store the SSH key pair. Press enter to accept the default location. Next, choose a password for your login to the virtual machine or hit enter if you wish not to use a password. I'm not using a password, so I leave them empty. Now run the following command. It will display the public key in the terminal. Highlight and copy this key and save it somewhere for using it when we create a VM instance. Right, I copied it. I created a text file named rdptemp to store the public key until we use it. Okay, now you can continue watching video from this point. You can find the timestamp in the video description. Right, if you are using Windows 10, you can continue watching from here. And if you are using another Windows version, please keep watching video from this point. You can find this timestamp in the video description. Okay, enter the following command in CMD. If you face any error, you can watch this video to fix it out. It will start the key generation process. You will be prompted to choose the location to store the SSH key pair. Press enter to accept the default location. Next, choose a password for your login to the virtual machine or hit enter if you wish not to use a password. I'm not using a password, so I leave them empty. Here you can see the location that public key stored in. I create a text file to store the public key until we use it. Next, go to the location that public key is stored in. Go to local disk C, users, your user account folder. Here mine it is Andrew, the .ssh folder. Here you can see a pub file, so open it with your favorite text editor. I copy the key and store it in the text file I created previously. Okay. Now you can continue watching video from this point. You can find the timestamp in the video description. Okay, if you are using Windows 7, 8, 8.1 or another version, you can keep watching from here. First, you should watch this video. It is an easy guide to install OpenSSH. After installing OpenSSH, go to the following location. Then press Alt+D, type CMD and hit enter to open a CMD window at that folder. Next, run the same commands we ran on Windows 10. Okay, I will show you how to do so. Here I have already installed OpenSSH. You guys can install it by watching the video I mentioned previously. Open Windows Explorer, go to the system disk, then Program Files, OpenSSH. Then press Alt+D, next type CMD here and hit enter. It will open a CMD window at OpenSSH folder. Here you can see SSH commands work well. Now you can run the same commands we ran on Windows 10. Enter the following command in CMD. It will start the key generation process. You will be prompted to choose the location to store the SSH key pair. Press enter to accept the default location. Next, choose a password for your login to the virtual machine or hit enter if you wish not to use a password. I'm not using a password, so I leave them empty. Here you can see the location that public key stored in. Next, go to that location. Go to local disk C, users, your user account folder. Here mine it is Webster, the .ssh folder. Here you can see a pub file, so open it with your favorite text editor. I create a text file to store the public key until we use it. I copy the key and store it in the text file I created. Right, In the next step, we are going to create a VM instance. Go back to the Google Cloud Platform tab, click on the menu button and find Compute Engine and click on VM Instances. Then click on Create. Here you should set the requirements you need in the remote desktop. Give it a name. I name it VNC Server. Also you can adjust other things such as the number of CPUs, memory, etc. But I don't need much power in my remote desktop, so I keep the default setting. Okay, next in the boot disk section, click on Change. Select Debian 9 as the operating system. Fill the boot disk type and size as you need. A 20 EB standard persistent disk is enough for me. Then click on Select. Next, expand this section, go to the Security tab. Now it is the time to use the SSH public key we created previously. Copy the key from the text file we created and paste it down here. Next, go to the Networking tab. Type the tag name we gave when we are creating the firewall rule in the network tags field. I type VNC server because it is the tag name I created when I created the firewall rule. Then click on Create. Step number 6 is creating the root password for the VM instance. Since VM instances in Google Cloud Compute Engine don't come with a root password setup by default, so we should change the password on our own. To do so, run the following command after connecting to the VM instance using SSH. You will be prompted to enter and verify a password for the root. Okay, go to the GCP tab, click on SSH. Then you will be connected to the VM instance via SSH. Then type this command and hit enter. Now you can set a root password. Terminal doesn't reveal password by default, so don't confuse if you are not familiar with it. Right, we created the root password for the current user. In the next step, we are gonna install the desktop environment and VNC server. By default, a Debian 9 server doesn't come with a graphical desktop environment or a VNC server installed, so we will begin by installing those. Specifically, we will install packages for the latest XFCE desktop environment and the type VNC package available in the official Debian repository. Now update your list of packages on your server with this command. Before running it, I clear the history. Right now we can update the list of packages. Next, run the following command to install the XFCE desktop environment on your server. During the installation, you will be prompted to select your keyboard layout from a list of possible options. Choose the one that's appropriate for your language and press enter. The installation will continue. Once that installation completes, install the Tight VNC server. To complete the VNC server's initial configuration after installation, use the VNC server command to set up a secure password and create the initial configuration files. Now you can create a password for the VNC server. The password must be between 6 and 8 characters long. Passwords more than 8 characters will be truncated automatically. Once you verify the password, you will have the option to create a view-only password. Users who log in with the view-only password will not be able to control the VNC instance with their mouse or keyboard. This is a helpful option if you want to demonstrate something to other people using your VNC server, but this isn't required. I don't need a view-only password, So I type N and hit enter. Now you will see an output looks like this. The process then creates the necessary default configuration, files and connection information for the server. Now we have to configure the VNC server. Yeah, in the next step we are gonna configure it. The VNC server needs to know which commands to execute when it starts up. Specifically, VNC needs to know which graphical desktop it should connect to. These commands are located in a configuration file called xstartup in the .vnc folder under your home directory. The xstartup script was created when you ran the VNC server in the previous step, but we will create our own to launch the XFCE desktop. When VNC is first set up, it launches a default server instance on port 5901. This port is called a display port and is referred to by VNC as :1. Also, VNC can launch multiple instances on other display ports like :2, :3 and so on. Because we are gonna be changing how the VNC server is configured, first stop the VNC server instance that is running on port 5901 with the following command. The output should look like this, although you will see a different PID. Before we modify the startup file, back up the original. Now create a new xstartup file and open it in your text editor. We can use Nano Text Editor to do so. Commands in this file are executed automatically when you start or restart the VNC server. We need VNC to start our desktop environment if it's not already started. Now we should add these 3 lines to the file. Then press Ctrl+X, then Y and press enter to make changes in the file. To ensure that the VNC server will be able to use the new xstartup file properly, we will need to make it executable. To do so, run this command. Now restart the VNC server by running the VNC server command. Then you will see output similar to this. With the configuration in place, let's connect to the VNC server from our local machine. But before connecting, we need to install a VNC viewer on the local machine. Now we can close this window. Open a new tab and type the name of your favorite VNC viewer. I'm gonna use Turbo VNC. You can download it from sourceforge.net. I'm not gonna download it because I already installed it. Right guys, it's time to connect the remote desktop securely. VNC itself doesn't use secure protocols when connecting. We will use an SSH tunnel to connect securely to our server, and then tell our VNC client to use that tunnel rather than making a direct connection. Create an SSH connection on your local computer that securely forwards to the local host connection for VNC. You can do this via the terminal or CMD on Linux, Windows 10 or Mac OS with the following command. If you are using Windows 7, 8, 8.1 or another version, you should go to the OpenSSH folder in Program Files first. Next press Alt+D, then type CMD and hit enter to open a CMD window at the OpenSSH folder. Then you can run the following command in CMD on these Windows versions. Once tunnel is running, use a VNC client to connect to localhost call 5901. You will be prompted to authenticate using the password you set in step 7.5. Once you are connected, you will see the default XFCE desktop. Select Use Default Config to configure your desktop quickly. You can find the external IP of the VM in the VM Instances page. After connecting to the VM instance, open your VNC client and type localhost call 5901 and click on connect. Then type the VNC password we created in step 7.5. After connecting, you will see a pop-up window and you should select Use Default Config to configure your desktop quickly. It doesn't show up mine because I selected to use the default config before recording this screen video. Next, we should open Turbo VNC options. In the encoding tab, change the encoding method to tight plus medium quality JPEG or tight plus low quality JPEG. It will give you a better experience in screen animations. I select this one because my internet speed is a little bit slow. Then click on OK. Okay guys, the next step is making the clipboard accessible from both host and remote. If you want to make the clipboard accessible from remote desktop, you should install AutoCAD Cell on the VM instance. You can install it by running this command. Here you will see copy paste doesn't work. Okay, open the terminal or CMD window that we used to connect the VM instance and run this command we copied to install AutoCAD Cell. After the installation, run this command to enable the clipboard on remote desktop. Open a terminal window, AutoCAD Cell-fork. Oh, I typed it wrong. Right, now the clipboard accessibility should be enabled. Before testing it out, I'm gonna install Firefox browser. In the terminal window, type apt install firefox-esr, then hit enter. Oh, just add sudo. Yeah, we installed Firefox successfully. You can open the browser from here or just from the dock in the bottom. Okay, now we can check if copy paste works or not. Yeah, it works fine. Let's do a speed test to see the internet speed of the remote desktop. Yeah, it has a good internet connection, so you can use this to transfer huge files without using your own bandwidth. If you want to enter the full screen, click here for the full screen mode. And you guys see we can't get the full screen. Let me show you how to get it. It's pretty simple. Yeah, it is the last step. In this step, I'm gonna show you how to get the full screen. Close the current VNC Viewer window, head back to the Google document page. Once everything is configured, now we can get the full screen by running VNC Server command with these flags to start a VNC Server instance with a custom pixel depth and a desktop screen size. Remember the point we ran the VNC Server command before connecting to the remote desktop? You just have to run the VNC server command with these flags. Let me show you how to do it once we started a VNC instance. Open the terminal or CMD window that we use to connect to the VM instance and close the current connection by running exit or just terminate the SSH connection. Next, go to the GCP tab and click on SSH button. First, we should stop the running VNC instances. Therefore, run VNC server-kill:1 to do so. Now we can start another VNC instance with a custom pixel depth and a desktop screen size. You can change the resolution and the depth as you want. Right. Now open a CMD or terminal window as we did previously and run this command to connect the remote desktop via SSH. Next, open your VNC client and connect localhost :5901. Then type the VNC password. Great, we got the full screen. Right, now I give you a tip. If you guys don't need to run the remote desktop continuously, you can shut the VM instance down and restart it whenever you want to use it again. It will save you free credits so your remote desktop lasts much longer. This is how to do so. First, open the CMD or terminal window that we used to connect to the remote desktop and type exit to close the SSH connection. Next, turn off the VM. And when you want to use it again, start the VM instance and click on SSH. Then just type this command to start a VNC instance with custom screen size and a pixel depth. Next, open a CMD or terminal window as we did before and connect the VM instance with this command. You can find the external IP of the VM instance from here. Then open your VNC viewer and connect localhost :5901 and provide the VNC password. That's all guys, you came to the end. I hope you guys will enjoy this tutorial and don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. To watch more tutorials like this, do subscribe to the channel.